back to another video. If you're listening to this, then you are the master of your reality. I am the master of my reality, and this is part 2 of our 3-part series on why Bitcoin is fool's gold. In this video, we will be talking more about the technical aspects of blockchain, not only Bitcoin, but some other ones that severely outperform Bitcoin in terms of technological superiority. And so all cryptocurrencies are simply networks. Some just do certain things better than others. And while more people than ever before will tell you it's digital gold, that can't be further from the truth. Bitcoin's mysterious origins, which we have already discussed in part 1, please go watch that video if you haven't seen it yet. Bitcoin's inability to evolve into a more efficient network, which is what we'll be discussing in today's video, and most of all, its lack of utility will be the cause of its downfall. In this series, I will expose all of Bitcoin's flaws and explain why it will lose its place as the highest market cap cryptocurrency this year, and which crypto I believe will take its spot. And if you're new to this channel, well, you're going to find out what that crypto is in this video. And so, as I stated in last video, I'm not making this series to hate on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's cool, it has the bragging rights as the first blockchain, and that's pretty cool. But in terms of success as a network, as a blockchain, I think Bitcoin's had its run. And so I'm making this video not to hate on Bitcoin, but to further solidify my investment thesis that cryptocurrencies with better technology and real utility will be the winners and will be the ones that emerge victorious out of the crypto bubble, which I believe we are in the final moments of as we speak. So, standard disclaimer, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. You should never take financial advice from anyone because no one else has more incentive to preserve and grow your wealth than you do. Be your own financial advisor. Become the master of your reality. And finance is just one aspect of your reality that you need to master. So, without further ado, let's get into today's video. Let's take a quick look at CoinGecko here. We're sitting at a $2.47 trillion market cap. It shows about 13,000 coins on CoinGecko. Bitcoin just broke back above 70,000. We got XRP trading at 63 cents. There's been a lot of talk about XRP as a stable coin lately. Well, it seems like it's a 60-cent stable coin lately. But jokes aside, coin market cap still showing about 2.4 million cryptocurrencies and a $2.64 trillion market cap. Alright, cool. So let's get into today's video. I'm titling this one, Proof of Work Needs Work. And we're going to really examine how proof of work, which is Bitcoin's consensus mechanism, if you did not know that, how that works and what's wrong with it, basically. It's slow, it's expensive, and it is now centralized. And so let's get into that. So first off, let's just quickly run through how a blockchain works, right? You have a chain of blocks that are all connected to each other through the previous hash. Okay, this is at least Bitcoin. And the validators are constantly basically competing with each other, the miners, to solve a math problem which will validate the new block and then add it to the chain. And within each block, there's a bunch of information. All right, you have the block header, which starts off with the hash from the previous block. All right, you got some metadata about, the block. The nonce is what the miners are solving for when they're mining Bitcoin. They're trying to figure out what the nonce is for that block. And so I'm not going to get into that. If you want to understand what the nonce is and how it's solved for, there's videos out there, articles out there about that. Your Merkle root is basically the hash of all of these transactions, and then after once the block is mined, once the nonce is solved, then the block generates a hash, which is all of this data combined. And so that generates a hash, and then the next block will start off with the hash that was generated in this block. Okay, so you can see here what I'm talking about, how the blockchains are linked together by the previous hash. So you have this hash here, 1HGF. That's the hash for all the data in this block. And then the header of this next block will start off with that previous hash. And so the reason why this is so secure is because this SHA-256 hashing algorithm, which was developed by the NSA in 2001 with the help of David Schwartz, maybe, question mark. Check out the last video for information about that. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? But basically, you can see here, these are your inputs, and then this is the hash. Okay, and it goes through this cryptographic hashing function. And you can see here, the red fox jumps over the blue dog. All right, and then we go one down, the red fox jumps over, it's just one letter different, the blue dog. The red fox jumps over the blue dog, just 2 letters different. And the red fox jumps over the blue dog, it's just missing the V. But notice that even though there's just 1 or 2 characters different in this input, the output, the hash, is completely different for each of these. Okay, it's totally random. That's what this hashing algorithm does, is it generates a completely random output for each input. Okay, now obviously if these 2 inputs are the same, it's going to generate the same hash. And so that's where we get that's what makes this so secure, is because you can't go back and change any information in a previously mined block without changing all of the blocks after that block, if that makes sense. So, a hacker might want to go in and say, all right, instead of this person sending money to this wallet, they actually sent this Bitcoin to my wallet. And then boom, that Bitcoin appears in the hacker's wallet, and they just hack Bitcoin. Well, you can't do that, because all the miners, the minidators on Bitcoin are constantly making sure that this entire ledger, which is what Bitcoin is just a ledger, distributed ledger. All the miners are constantly making sure that they all have the same copy of that ledger. And so you can't go back and change anything on a previous block, because then that would change all the other blocks. And then that's where the security of blockchain comes in. And really, this should be represented as a chain of blocks. This could also represent the nodes. Obviously, this hacker here is just trying to hack into 2 of these nodes. But the way Bitcoin works is, it is possible to go back and make a change to previous data. You can change the code of Bitcoin. But in order to do that, you need consensus or approval from 51% of the network. That's the threshold for Bitcoin. It's 80% for XRP, but for Bitcoin it's 50%, 51. Okay, so if this hacker was to gain control of this node, this node, this node, this node, and this node, there's 5 right there, and there's 4 over here. If these nodes are still, operating in good faith, but the hacker can control over more than 51%, then he now has power over these nodes and can manipulate the blockchain. Okay, so that's why it's super important that the network is actually distributed and is not centralized into the hands of the majority holders if it's proof of stake, or where in Bitcoin's instance you have mining pools where many different people come together and they designate their individual miner to a mining pool so that they can still get some rewards. Instead of waiting and waiting and waiting to mine a whole Bitcoin, they actually get a little percentage of whatever their share of the mining power. They get a little percentage of the entire pool's rewards. And so, as we'll talk about later in the video, Bitcoin's network has gotten very centralized because of these mining pools. And they were introduced in 2010, pretty like 1 year after Bitcoin went live. I will explain later on in the video why the mining pools in combination with the halving has led to this centralization that we see now in Bitcoin. But let's continue here. So that's just kind of your basic intro of how blockchain works and why it is as secure as it is, kind of into the more technical side of blockchain. So I hope you all appreciate that little intro there. Let's get into the actual like transaction fees for Bitcoin though. So this is a 5-year chart going back to spring of 2019, and this is showing Bitcoin's average transaction fee, okay? So this basically means if you want to send 20 bucks on Bitcoin, $5 on Bitcoin, whatever amount that you send on Bitcoin, this is the average fee that you can expect to pay. Right now it's at $6, almost $7. All right, but let's see, just in December of last year, it was at $31 for one fee. So if you want to send $31, you're going to be paying 100% in fees, basically. And if you're even going to send like $5, let's say you were trying to send Bitcoin back in 2021, April 20th, 4/20th, 2021. You'd be paying like 60 bucks. Obviously not for a long time, but let's say you're like a financial institution or something, and you have to, or let's say it's a family emergency, you have to send Bitcoin. Well, you're going to get hit with a $60 fee. If you're sending like 100 bucks, it's hit with a $60 fee. Well, dang, that 100 bucks turns into like 40 bucks. So Bitcoin has very high fees. It's not as bad as Ethereum. Well, at least when Ethereum was proof of work. Ethereum's fees are still kind of ridiculous. Another thing about the fees is that the transaction fees, so how they work is you don't have to pay a fee. All right. And so let's actually go to this little thing here. This is a cool website. I think it's called like Bitcoin Traffic, Bitcoin City or something. You can look at the Bitcoin network. And so each one of these little buses is a block that's waiting to be mined. And all these little people on here are transactions. And they're paying fees. You see the people getting on the bus are the ones paying a high fee. Right now the median transaction fee is about $3. This according to this, okay? It says $6 right here, but according to this it's $3, okay? The last block was mined 8 minutes ago. So this one's probably about to go. I think Bitcoin mines blocks about every 10 minutes. All right. And so the people getting on the bus right now, they're paying a decent transaction fee to secure their spot on this block. All right. Now you see other people down here in a low fee line. Okay. They're not willing to pay whatever fee is, necessary to get on this bus. They want to pay a low fee. You don't have to pay any fee. All right, but it's going to take a long time for your transaction to get processed if you don't pay a fee. And so this is why transactions on Bitcoin, the fees favor the rich, but at the same time, Bitcoin's speed does not favor the rich. Okay, because the fees favor the rich because if you're willing to pay a high transaction fee, if you got the money to spend, well, hop on board. Your transaction is gonna get through pretty quickly. All right, but if you can't afford the fee, well, you're gonna have to look how long this is. Holy crap! You're gonna have to get into this line. Jesus, this is oh my God. Yeah, I'm not even gonna scroll all the way down. There's 34,000 transactions in this low fee line. They're not getting their transactions done anytime soon. Oh look, so that bus just left, and so that block just got mined on Bitcoin. It took probably about 9 to 10 minutes for that block to get mined. All right, so now they're working on a new block to get mined. So the fees on Bitcoin favor the rich, but the speed does not, because the standard on Bitcoin network is the larger your transaction, the more confirmations you should wait to consider that block confirmed. And some exchanges even will make you wait multiple confirmations before your transaction is processed. Okay, so if you're sending like $1 million, which these financial institutions and governments, they need to send billions of dollars, many hundreds of millions of dollars, how long are they going to have to wait? How many confirmations are they going to have to wait for? And so the confirmation, all the confirmation means is how many blocks are validated after the block which your transaction is in is validated. Okay, so that's kind of confusing, but basically, let's say your transaction is on this block right here, this bus. All right, once this block is validated, your transaction has 0 confirmations. Each block added to the blockchain, to the ledger, after the block that your transaction was on is considered a confirmation. All right, so let's say you're on this bus, and then boom, your transaction goes through. It takes 10 minutes, and then every block, let's say you have to wait for, like, let's say you're sending a pretty large transaction, hundreds of or several thousands of dollars. You're gonna have to wait for like 5 or 6 confirmations, for that block to go through. And so that's where these crazy long wait times for Bitcoin come in. And especially if you're not willing to pay a high fee. Let's say the Bitcoin network is very busy, all right, like right here. And the average fee is like $60. Well, if you're not waiting to pay that, if you're not willing to pay that, you're gonna have to wait sometimes days. All right, it can take days. Let's just what's the longest a Bitcoin? See, all right, generally transactions are confirmed within an hour. So you're going to be waiting there for at least, 10 or 20 minutes. But in some cases, it can take up to 24 hours or more. I asked around in the DAI private Telegram to see what's the longest like anyone in here has had to wait on a Bitcoin transaction. And I think one guy said like weeks. He said he was waiting for weeks, and he just canceled it because it was taking too long. He probably didn't pay a fee, but that's how long it can take. If you're not willing to pay that gas fee and pay up to get your transaction through. All right, so let's see when the last block was on here. Let's move on to the next. Okay, so last block was about 5 minutes ago. We're still on this same block. Okay, you're still waiting for this one to get finished. All right, so let's see how many XRP ledgers, basically blocks on XRP's blockchain, can get processed while we're waiting for Bitcoin. Dang, my Wi-Fi's bad. All right, here they come. Boom, there's one. Boom, there's another one. My mouse just died. Boom, another ledger. Another one. Another one. And within each of these, here's the transaction count right here. So there's 77 transactions in that one, 69, nice, in that one, 70 transactions in that one. And it's just printing out these ledgers every 3 to 5 seconds. Average ledger interval is right now 3.8 seconds. All right. Average transaction fee is 0.001 XRP. So let's figure out how much that is in dollars, because Bitcoin's is at like $3 right now. $3 to $6. Let's say $4. All right. Let's figure out how much this is, how much XRP this is in dollars right now. The average transaction fee. Where is this? Here it is. What the heck is going on? There we go. There's a space. Okay. So it's a fraction of a cent. It's not even 1 cent, guys. It's like 1%, 1.5% of 1 cent is the fee to do a transaction on XRP. All right, so that just shows you, like, and we're still waiting. We're still waiting on the same transaction for Bitcoin to go through. All right. This just shows you like the difference in technological superiority of XRP to Bitcoin. All right. XRP was created to be a better Bitcoin, probably from one of the same people who worked on creating Bitcoin, David Schwartz. All right. It has the connections. I'm not gonna pitch XRP to y'all. This is enough for you to see just the performance of it. Okay. So let's move on. Let's talk about, we've talked about the speed. We've talked about the transaction fee. Now let's talk about the energy consumption, okay? How much energy is Bitcoin consuming? Because all these miners, do I have a video of the miners? Let me pull up a video for the miners real quick.
It's a constant hum. It never goes away. You can hear it when you go to bed, and you can hear it when you get up.
Tim Hilton has lived here 18 years and says he's fed up with the noise.
It's devalued my property to where I would not want to build a home here.
The noise comes from a massive data center. It's a mining farm for cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin.
So we're actually going to blow through this and go to the end and work our way back to the tour, okay? As we're walking here, I'll kind of explain. This is a 50,000 square foot building that we are putting 53 megawatts of power in this building. We've distributed the coal dials with about 4 or 5 megawatts per coal dial. And the reason that
Jeez, yeah, so that's a massive Bitcoin farm. All right, so obviously, it's pretty intensive process mining Bitcoin. How much energy does XRP use? So Ripple has also proven to be one of the most energy efficient cryptocurrencies, with energy consumption as low as 0.009 kilowatts per transaction, kilowatt hours per transaction. Okay, so I don't even really know what that means either. If you're like me, you're like, well, what does that mean? So let's do some comparisons. All right. So that keep that number in mind. 0.0079 kWh. That stands for kilowatt hours. All right. So what's Bitcoin? Bitcoin is 700 kilowatt hours per transaction, a single transaction. So I don't even know what the percentage difference is from 0.007 to 700. That's crazy. I'm not even gonna guess. Well, here's a cool little example of like a visual of different chains. We got XRP, HBAR, and Bitcoin. So each Bitcoin consumes about 700 kilowatt hours, equivalent to 701 kilowatt. 701 kilowatt space heaters running for 1 hour. Okay, so imagine 700, those little tower space heaters. Imagine 700 of those running for 1 hour. 1 hour, that's how much energy Bitcoin consumes. Each XRP transaction consumes 8 watt hours, equivalent to a single LED bulb running for 1 hour. And we all know that LEDs use very little electricity. All right, and then we have HBAR. HBAR is even more efficient than XRP. HBAR, each transaction consumes 0.17 watt hours, so a fraction of what XRP uses, equivalent to a single LED diode running for 1 hour. Just a tiny little baby LED light. All right, now don't sell all your XRP for HBAR. I personally have both. Each one serves a different purpose. XRP is better for large transactions, while HBAR is more of a security blockchain. It's actually being used to what is it called? The Hedera consensus service for Hyperledger, which is like with IBM, all these big companies. We'll do a future video on HBAR. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. All right, so Bitcoin devours more electricity than many countries. All right, so we got China, USA, obviously by a landslide. Those two are just consuming a crazy amount of electricity. Then we got Bitcoin, more energy than Norway, Bangladesh, Switzerland, or Google. And this is per year. This is annual electricity consumption in comparison. So Bitcoin consumes about 140 terawatt hours. This is terawatt hours, okay? Here's another example. More energy, or no, so more than Ukraine. This was from 2019, so maybe Ukraine's more now, but more than in 2019. And obviously there's probably more miners now, so this is a little more now probably. So let's just say 140 terawatt hours per year is what Bitcoin consumes. All right, now what is a terawatt? A terawatt is 1 trillion watts, and Bitcoin is consuming about 140 terawatts per hour. That's 140 trillion watts. Or no, sorry, per year. Bitcoin's consuming 140 trillion watts per year. Now, another cool comparison we can do is with TNT. So 1 terawatt equals 860,420 tons of TNT in 1 trillion watts. Okay. So if Bitcoin is consuming about 140 terawatts a year. So the amount of energy that Bitcoin consumes in 1 year is equivalent to 120 million tons of TNT. What does that look like? Well, let's look at some TNT explosion videos. That's half a ton. Here's 1 ton. Let's watch that again. Boom. All right, that's 1 ton of TNT. So imagine 120 million of those going off every single year because of Bitcoin. Crazy, absolutely just crazy, okay? So, we touched on the speed, the cost, the energy consumption. Now let's touch on what is really important, which is the actual decentralization of a blockchain network. All right. And so over time, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they started off pretty damn decentralized, but over time, because of the way that they're validated and for other reasons, Bitcoin and Ethereum have both become very centralized. Okay. And so for Ethereum, for example, after it transitioned to proof of stake, it's just become completely centralized. These are probably the disguised whales who bought up, a lot of Ethereum in the early days. The ICO, their early investors, China, and some other individuals. These are mining pools, or staking pools, I guess. And so most retail have their Ethereum in these staking pools. 77% of Ethereum of Ethereum's consensus of its validation of its network is centralized into one pool. That's not good. That's really bad. All right, now let's look at Bitcoin. So 2 pools. A little bit better than Ethereum, I guess. But 2 pools, Foundry USA and Ant Pool, one in US, one in China, control over 51% of the network. And remember, 51% is the threshold that if these 2, mining pools wanted to collude, they could perform a 51% attack on Bitcoin and change the code. All right, that would be the death of Bitcoin if that ever happened, and it's at risk of happening. I mean, that's crazy that that mainstream media right now is saying, "Oh, it's decentralized. It's decentralized." No. Two entities control over 51% of the mining power, the hash rate. And so that is not decentralized. If anything, it's just decentralized since there's two. All right, let's move on though. And then here's XRP, right? Completely, perfectly decentralized. It is perfectly decentralized. Obviously, financial institutions and governments and enterprises are not going to use a network that is at risk of being manipulated through an attack, a 51% attack. All right, so not only is XRP's threshold for any changes on the network 80% compared to Bitcoin's 51, it's perfectly decentralized. So this is why XRP has attracted a lot of big players, gotten some big partnerships. Things like the European Commission launching the International Association of Trusted Blockchain Applications, INATBA. NIATBA. All right, this is from the European Union. This is their commission, and they launched this International Association of Trusted Blockchain Applications. Well, who's a founding member of INATBA? That would be Ripple.
Hi, I'm Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO here at Ripple. It's an honor and really a privilege for us to be one of the founding members of the International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications. This really is a pivotal time for the distributed ledger technology industry. It's critical that as an industry, we come together and engage with regulators and with governments globally. The work we're seeing with the European Commission is pivotal and can be leading in this effort. We're thrilled to be involved and look forward to being a leading participant. Hi.
Boom. All right, so Ripple is a founding member of the International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications. Let's take a look at some of their other members. We got IBM, big blockchain player. There's Algorand, IOTA, VeChain, maybe one of the next ISO 222 certified blockchains. What else we got? Cardano's there. Alliance Block, that's Nexera, NXRA. It's the ticker. Let's see what else we got here. There's Morpheus Network. That's one I need to do some research on. Very interesting project. There's Quant, right? The king of interoperability, the Overledger. All right, so that boom, like there's most of these other things are not blockchains. They're just blockchain companies or companies that use distributed ledger technology. They're not actually, they don't have a cryptocurrency you can invest in. But there we go, Algorand, IOTA, VeChain. These two are already ISO 222 compliant. All right, so there you go, guys. Like, it has to be fast, it has to be cheap to use, and it has to be secure. Those are your three criteria that will tell you who are the winners and the losers in the space. And Bitcoin fails all three of those. So does Ethereum. All right, yet they're the top two by market cap in crypto right now. And so that's why I say this is a fraudulent market. We are at the final stages of this, this Mickey Mouse crypto market, this fraudulent, manipulated market that's gonna, totally wreck so many people because they're just following the herd, and the herd gets led to the slaughterhouse. All right, but here you go. Here's a great graphic. Shout out to XX1133_1221_11. Man, what a long name that is. But anyway, he makes these awesome graphics and probably one of the top researchers in the space. We got Ripple, XRP, ISO 222, DAG, ISO 222. I'm just going to say ISO. XDC, ISO. Stellar, ISO. HBAR, ISO. IOTA, ISO. Casper, I don't think it's ISO, but look at the specs for these. 1,500 transactions per second. I'm not sure. I've heard that XRP can scale up to a lot more. Maybe using something like Corium, which we're about to touch on. But still, that's a lot faster than Bitcoin. And then we got other things, like HBAR's 10,000 transactions per second, Casper up to 50,000 transactions per second. And all of these are very cheap to transact on. Some of them are feeless. DAG, there is no fee. Same thing with IOTA. These is because these use a directed acyclic graph, a DAG. It's not really. It's a different kind of blockchain. I think the most expensive one on here is LCX, 6 cents per transactions. Whoop-de-doo. So one of the other ISO 222 compliant blockchains that is not on this chart is Corium, world's first superledger. That's interesting. Corium's main thing is they're smart tokens. All right. So there you go. ISO 222 messaging. That's huge. This is one of the most, like unheard of ISO 222 compliant blockchain out there. Not many people know about this one. Let's scroll down a little bit to see what it's see ISO compatible. Okay, instant finality. Average block time for Corium is 1.8 seconds. All right, they got 64 validators, which is why it can be this fast. You don't have thousands of validators. You just have a few very trusted validators, kind of what Ripple has. They use universities and financial institutions, big institutions to be their validators. And so that lets you have fewer validators on the network, which makes it faster. You don't need thousands of validators. You just need it to be sufficiently decentralized among, several. All right, 7,000 transactions per second. And what's cool about Corium is they just, let's see, this was March 20th, like 6 days ago. Their bridge with XRP went live. So now anything on the XRP ledger can bridge over to Corium. So that means that basically by using Corium, XRP transactions can use 7,000 transactions per second instead of 1,500. All right, but there are people out there that say XRP can scale more. I haven't seen any proof that suggests that, but if if you are aware of how XRP can scale to more than 1,500 transactions per second, please comment that information down below, because I would love to figure out if that's true or not. But smart tokens. So let's just this real quick video on smart tokens. If you're interested in what Corium's about, that's their main thing, is smart tokens.
Corium introduces the next generation of blockchain-based assets. There are roadblocks when it comes to the issuance of fungible and non-fungible assets.
By the way, this video is not sponsored by anyone. I'm just showing you all this because I think Corium is a very interesting blockchain.
Deploying and relying on smart contracts can become expensive and insecure. Their executions are non-deterministic and not guaranteed, making them not optimal for issuance and tokenization. Corium is the first blockchain to introduce smart tokens, natively issued tokens that are wrapped around smart contracts, allowing them to execute functions independently. They are superior by being customizable, lightweight, and flexible, all while offering extendable functionalities. Smart tokens can be programmed for CBDCs, stablecoins, tokenized securities, and
or ABDCs, asset-backed digital currencies,
stocks, soul-bound tokens, interactive NFTs, programmable money, P2P secure messaging, wrapped cryptocurrencies, real estate tokenization, transparent voting, ISO 222 compliance. They allow enterprises utilizing the Corium network to predetermine behaviors of specific tokens in order to execute hyper-specific transactions without the demand for an intermediary. Although there are other iterations of the smart token available in the market today, smart tokens on Corium present unique opportunities to fully maximize and extend upon the limits of tokenized fungible, I don't know of any other
blockchain's doing smart tokens, but Corium's the only one that bridges to XRP.
Fungible and hybrid on-chain assets. Smart tokens, the next generation of blockchain-based assets.
Okay, so pretty cool, right? All right, so Corium has a little YouTube presentation coming up on March 28th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I did secure my spot, so hopefully I will have time to watch this, because I'm really interested in how this bridge to the XRP ledger works. And so they're going to have some developers on there talking about explaining how it works. So definitely recommend y'all tuning in for that if you want to learn about that. So I just showed y'all some really powerful projects that have immense utility. The technology is there, it's fast, it's cheap to use. Their networks are actually decentralized. And here we are, Bitcoin's at $70,000. We're very close to that that 5.3 rule top right there, and the halving is coming up. Again, Bitcoin for the first time ever made a new all-time high before the halving. So this time actually is different, guys, but I don't think it's in a good way. And then we got XRP is just primed and ready to explode. We got our like 7-year bull flag that's printed out here. And if you look at the market sentiment right now, there's a lot of FUD. There's a lot of FUD in the XRP army right now. The AMM didn't really go live or go as well as people were expecting. There was some problems. But I mean, XRP is still holding 63 cents. It didn't go up either during the launch, but it's a good thing. It's the AMM not working as well as people hoped is not tanking the price. I don't really think that that the price even, the price does what it wants because of who knows what, whether it's the moon, like gematria, whales, the elite, who knows what makes this thing move. All I know is that there's a lot of FUD in the market right now, and usually that is a great time to be buying, especially when you have this kind of chart. Like, the chart says that this is a very bullish chart, okay? And once we break above like the dollar level, well, the sky's the limit for XRP. And then if we check out the Bitcoin to XRP chart, we're going to see a very similar thing here where we have this this trend line going all the way back to 2014. See that trend line right there? And so this is XRP compared to Bitcoin. So this chart is showing that comparatively XRP is a great deal to Bitcoin. So I don't have any Bitcoin, but if I did, I personally, in a hypothetical situation, would be trading my Bitcoin for XRP. That's not financial advice. That's just what I would do in this hypothetical scenario. What else do we got? We got Corium. So here's Corium. This is its all-time high according to CoinGecko, and all-time low. So yeah, this thing's like brand new, guys. It came out in 2022. It's never had a bull run price discovery, so there's not a whole lot we can do chart-wise. It did have this crazy candle up here. I'm not sure if this is real. This just might be an exchange thing. This is the MEXC chart. So this just might be like poor liquidity on the exchange. But that goes up to like $28, $29, right in alignment with that 2.618 fib. All right. And so I pulled the fib from the all-time high according to CoinGecko to the all-time low. We had a perfect automatic rally into this emerald zone right here. Okay, so that's complete. That's good. And now we're coming back down to test this, or hold. We need to hold this 236 fib. But after that, the next phase is price discovery. And so if we were to make it up to, let's just say from right here to the 1.618. That's a it's a 20, about a 20x, right there, to that's like $2-3. But if we were to get all the way up to like 27, $28 on this thing, Jesus, you're talking about a 18,000% gain. That's almost a 200x, guys. That's crazy. That's life changing right there. So, Corium is one of my my venture capital bags, if you will. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting project. It's got ties to XRP. This isn't a video about Corium. I was just showing you stuff with real utility that actually is fast and cheap to use. I think I'm gonna end it off right here. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you guys learned something. I think this was pretty valuable information in this video. So leave a like if you found value in this video. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. So leave a comment down there. Let me know how your day's going. Hope it's going good. And yeah, man, that's it. Next video is part 3. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin, its lack of utility. A store of value is not utility, but that's next video. So that's part 3 coming up very soon. Just got to get that together. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you out there. If you're listening to this, you are the master of your reality. All right, cryptocurrency is just one aspect to reality, guys. Just a tiny little sliver of it. All right, but we're going to start doing more videos about other things that are probably more important than crypto. I'm just doing this because crypto market doesn't sleep. I got to get these videos out there so people are aware. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Much love. Until next time, master your reality.